Hi and welcome to the first episode of Out of Syllabus, a podcast by Carmel High School. Some matters never make it out of the textbook, which is why possibly we thought this podcast can be that time segment given to answer such questions that students, teachers, or parents have about life in school. My name is Tapan Menezes, and I'm a part of Carmel High School, Basaveshwaranagar. And our motto has always been faith and toil. Our teachers, our parents, our students work hard with the belief that by doing good, good happens to you. Out of syllabus is one of that we believe that this podcast or this space will be used to give honest opinions that students have, that teachers have, that parents have about life in general, and address some of the issues, some of the concerns, some of the interesting topics that all parties have. With me is my co-host Anushka Gaikwad from class 10. Yeah. Welcome, Anushka.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm very excited to be on this podcast, and it's a great honor for me to be able to represent everyone in my generation or all the students. Thank you, sir.
So the idea of this podcast, Anushka, is we always say, I wish school taught me that. So the whole idea of this podcast is to give this information to children that maybe 15 years down the line they say, thank God school taught me this. But along with us today is not just the both of us. We have a very special guest today. With us we have Mr. Roshan Menezes, the Secretary of Carmel Education Society, Basaveshwaranagar. Well, Mr. Roshan Menezes has been in the field of education for the past 30 years, working for this institution for the development, betterment, and the enjoyment, I think, most for the students. Welcome, Roshan sir, to this podcast and the first episode.
My pleasure to be here.
Well, today in my classroom, in my episode of Out of Syllabus, we're going to start with an introduction chapter, or I must say, the idea or the essence of communication. Communication has been a word that we always say you need to communicate better. There are different modes of communication. Different generations communicate with each other differently. So just to address that, how we as teachers communicate to our students, how students communicate to their teachers, to their parents, to each other. To talk about that is why we are sitting here today. Well, my dear viewers and listeners, please open your textbooks to chapter number 1, page 1, communication. Well, let me start with you, Mr. Roshan. You have been the administrator for the past, say, 27, 30 years.
30 plus years.
Yeah. I'm sure you communicate to a lot of people on a daily basis. Parents, teachers, students. You might be having all sorts of conversations. And with the years, you never know what's the next conversation that is going to happen. But all of this comes under the essence of communication. Why do you think communication is important in your role as an administrator, as a leader in a school?
Okay. See, communication is the lifeline of existence itself. When there are two people, you need to talk, express. Any form of expression is communication. Specifically in the role that I play as administrator of this institution, it's very essence of my role is to build trust, is to build a relationship. There are different people that I interact with, more so with the parent community. It's important that we build a good rapport, build a confidence or credibility of the institution. So for that, effective communication is important. Communicate to the stakeholders what the essence of the institution is, what is the philosophy of the institution, what is the ethos of the institution. Communication is important to all the stakeholders to ensure trust, what the institution stands for. Clarity in information. You have to share information to people so that they all know the policies, the procedures, the events. Communication in the role I play is important to manage conflict, student conflicts, staff, students, parents, institution, teachers, different forms of opinions and issues that need to be clarified. It can only happen through communication.
I was coming to that. Communication is something that gaps the major problems that.
True, and sometimes, of course, I'm going beyond just my role. That is where we lack in our open communication that can resolve so many issues around the world. On a day-to-day issues, be it home, be it the school, be it the office space, the only requirement is to have effective communication. If people could open up to express and people could have the patience to listen and understand, this world would have been a different place.
What do you think, Anushka? Is communication something important to you?
Yes, sir. I think communication is important to me because it's the way we can express our feelings and understand what the other person is trying to tell, what the other person wants from us. So, in that way.
Very true. I mean, the idea of communication is a very, a textbook definition that two people, when they pass a message to each other, it's called communicating. And I'm not saying what you said is wrong, but I always feel that, different generations communicate differently with each other. And in a school, I would say you possibly have three different generations at once. Sometimes I feel that there's a major gap in that because somewhere, as students, they are talking in a different lingo, different, what I can say, vibe. And then there are teachers who have their own style of communication. And then you have possibly more senior members, management level, who have a different style of communication. So I feel sometimes that there are three different styles of communication can have communication barriers within a school. What do you think, sir? Is it something?
It's definitely true what you're saying, and as I'm looking at it, yes, there are generations of people within the same organization. The fact that we have to accept that there is a generation that always follows is very, very essential for every past generation. And that's where sometimes I see that we get stuck in our communication. Because if I am going to be, personally, if I am going to get stuck in the era of my style of communication, my language of communication, today possibly none of you would want to talk at all because it would not be permitted. Generations have to understand that there are changes, and that positive changes, any kind of changes, is something that we have to learn to adjust with, learn to cope with, learn to work around with. And the previous generation at some point will get obsolete. There is no two ways about it. The faster we accept it and adapt to the newer levels of communication or people of communication, it's much easier. Other way around as well. The generation to come up should look behind to say, because of the previous generation, we have a base on which we are able to stand. So, my parents, my teachers are outdated is not something I should talk, with a lot of noise about it and say, oh, the old people, old generation, OG, yeah. Because of OG, the new generation, Gen Z is there because of the previous generation. And soon you will reach a stage where that will happen to you as well, where you should realize the next generation I have to accept. So this is the area of communication, expression, acceptance, listening, which is very essential for a smooth flow.
I think every generation thinks that they are the OG and every generation behind them is Ajji. But Anushka, let me tell you something. I always, I've been a student too. I've been, there's a famous dialogue. I have also been one day where you are. Many people say that. I'm sure you heard your teachers say that.
Yes,
when possibly you're making noise in class, your teacher says, I have been there sitting and I've not done that thing like how you're doing. You heard that.
Yes.
But I want to ask you one thing. Do you actually like it or are happy when somebody like your teacher or your parent actually makes an attempt to communicate to you? Do you like it when your parent says, how was school today, Anushka? Or do you like it when your teacher says, what did you do on the weekend? Do you actually like wow, this teacher is actually asking me? Or is it, why does she want to know? Is there something else? What do you feel? Do you, not just you, what do you all?
And this is on behalf of the generation
Yeah,
of
on
children.
behalf of the generation. Yeah.
Yeah, no offense, but I actually feel like, why are they asking me? I don't want to open up about my day or tell you what has happened throughout my day. But then maybe it's because I want to have my own personal space or maintain my privacy. And then if you come and ask me, how was your day, Anushka? And then I don't want to tell about it. So most of the times I don't feel like teachers or parents should always be behind us. They think they're caring, but they're not. They're just trying to invade our privacy.
So what do you say about that? Does communication invade privacy?
Yeah, it's tricky. No, it's a different perspective. I don't again want to discount what Anushka is saying, but the intent or the intention behind why such interactions are happening is something that has to be understood with an open mind. Um, I agree with you if there are people who are not connected with you, if you feel some stranger, some relation far off who says, how was your day, what was your weekend, what did you do, is fine. But if there are somebody who's known to you in a circle, closer circle, again, closer circle of teachers or friends or family, who are inquiring about your well-being, a general look up, um, sharing in a brief few words to tell them about it shouldn't be too much as looked as we are getting into your privacy. Now, if I am going to ask you, show me our communication, what was on your chat, what did you talk to, or who are those people you are talking to, then you can begin to feel that invading my privacy. You need to understand subtly also what is the purpose behind it, as in who are the people. So I'm saying stranger asking you is definitely wrong. If a teacher asks you, a class teacher asks you, how was your weekend, Anushka? Did you have a good time? It can be a general inquiry to say, I hope you're all well. Yeah. So, meaning, it may take time, possibly is a time for you to understand, I need my privacy, I need my space. But the intention behind, I don't think is wrong.
So you were just mentioning, I just caught on to your conversation when you said, okay, looking into your phone and looking into your chat and asking you as a parent or as a teacher, is that something wrong, or does the parent actually have, I'm sure parents usually think, this is my child, I gave her the phone, I gave him the phone, I should know it until a certain age, say, at what stage do you think parents also may have to back off, saying, okay, my child has the personal boundary? I think that's where children want to be respected, where they want to treat me as, every child wants to be treated as an adult, true, but they're still a child. But at what point do you think parents, as a community, as a person, uh, has to learn to probably back off to say, okay, I know my child is doing the right thing and I need to give my child a personal boundary? Or is there something like that that you believe that should happen?
No, definitely. See, the entire thing comes from a level of trust, a level of relationship that you already have. This is where most homes, in my experience, are lacking because of a level of relationship built over the years. In the initial younger years, I am a different person as a parent. I allow whatever the child is doing as it's something great, something good. You ask one, I give 10 because my child is still small, enjoying life. Few years later, the child is a little more mature in handling and wanting and understanding what is the need, which then becomes an addiction to that gadget, to that requirement, which I have allowed as a parent. And at some stage in time, I am the one who is saying, now you are misusing, you are overusing. No, who is to blame over? So I am not saying that the parent is completely to be blamed, but we have a time in which we should understand that how much is enough. Now, in homes where that relationship is good, it has grown over the years, then a complete trust should be given out to the child. If I am trusting Anushka, if she is my child and I say, Anushka, I have known you from so many years as a parent, so I know that she is going to use this gadget for a purpose, even to a purpose of personal use. My trust is I know what she is using behind. Yeah, that should be my level of trust. So I think parents need to understand that we need to have a good relation. Not too late even now to develop a good relation, but a relation of trust. And the trust will start is if there's a mutual respect. Okay, boundaries, space. You use it, But again, mutual. The child should also accept, and if there is a time frame, boundary between this. I'm using my gadget between 6 and 7. I should respect my parent and 6 to 7. Between 6 and 7, I should zip my mouth and not ask, Anushka, what are you doing? What are you looking at? Are you playing? Are you reading? You said WhatsApp, now you're doing something else. I should allow Anushka to do anything because it's a trust. And Anushka should not want to break that trust by going out of the boundary which comes to knowledge, then the trust becomes mistrust. So that is essential. So if parents have to back off, it is a question of relationship. And after that, it is a question of trust. You allow the child, and the child mutually must trust by respecting what the parents have spoken. I don't know. Do you feel the same?
I totally agree with you, sir, because mutual trust and respect is what that keeps the relationship and bond very strong.
Very true. And that is again communicate. Unless I communicate in my mind as a parent, look at her misusing, look at her not. I must tell Anushka, this is the time not to use this. You should be doing this. After this, I want back. When there is open discussion, it happens. Or Anushka must say, Dad, I'm not going to touch my phone, or I'm doing this till 6 to 7. Don't interfere. So when those, not so many words, not don't interfere, but don't, give me my space. But when that is clearly expressed, then we should back.
I think I'm probably going to ask this as a general concern, or I know probably most parents want to actually know, when my child is looking at the phone and smiling and looking at it, what is happening? Why is the child smiling at the phone? Is she talking to a boy? Is he talking to a girl? What are they watching? I think that's a common, the spark that starts that thought in the parents' mind that I should know what my child is doing. But I actually want to ask Anushka, what is it that you guys talk? What is it? I mean, I'm not asking you to share your conversations. I'm just saying, what is it that your generation likes to talk to each other? I know that my parents, they like to send good morning images to each other, and that is a form of communication. I would never send that to my friends. Good morning, have a good day, because that is that generation's style of communication. Probably my generation or my friends, we probably send reels to each other, or send images that we have done today than actually text each other. That is a style of communication. What does your generation communicate? How do you communicate, and what is it that you communicate?
I think our generation, we communicate more through social media rather than like in person. So we usually talk about memes, new bands, new artists that are coming up. We share reels, or maybe we talk about a new crush, or some friendship group drama, family drama. So that is what we keep sharing about.
No, it's good. I'm happy you sharing something open. My thoughts also go. Sometimes this discussions or communication that you all are having in that format also leads to a lot of conflicts. Unexpressed communication, just through your mobile reading or Insta or memes or whatever, gives a different meaning to the other people who take it on differently and create other issues. No, meaning in a generation that I have grown, we have always had an open communication. Of course, forget mobile came in much later in our lives, but then that was an enjoyable phase where we could have a communication. We would look out to move out of our homes to just hang out outside on the street to catch up with friends and neighbors and have a same chat. Whatever we were talking about, drama, family drama, melodrama, and everything else, and crushes, and everything is all that we have also spoken of. But we would have a face-to-face conversation. So when you send a smiley, I know what the true smile is about. When you show an expression of anger, I know truly it's anger. But nowadays, these emojis that are there which communicate is not a true feeling or understood rightly by the other person. So that's where some of the challenges come for you all. I see it. Again, I may be wrong. You may be able to handle it. But I see it is a cause for various other issues or personal issues. Right, wrong? Just correct me.
No, you're totally correct. And if you see in a text, if someone apologizes to you through text and they just send a sorry, and if they don't add that exclamatory mark or some emojis, it feels so emotionless. Like you feel that they are not genuinely apologizing to you. So if that person would have apologized to you, like in real life, in front of you, then that would make more sense or have more meaning or a sense to that.
Exactly, I'm saying. So even if I just say sorry to you, you know it from my tone.
Yeah.
And you'll say sorry without a emoticon or a emoji over there. So that's how you will try to realize. But just to keep you happy, I may send a happy smiley photo emoji. Maybe in my heart I'm not, but when I spoke to you, you know in my heart because of my expression. I'm just saying those areas is communication is where it is reducing, which used to happen in a few other generations, which made life much easier between people.
You said, communication is on a decline in terms of in person, in language, in person, not in text. That the younger generation communicate through text. With that has come the idea of a new lingo. Are you aware of it, sir? Are you aware there's a new whole world of a lingo and a language spoken online?
I don't know.
I'm not talking about.
I don't know too much.
I'm not talking about typos. I'm just saying there are new words created.
I heard, I hear, I read, I don't understand.
Okay, so let's have a fun quiz game. Okay, so we're going to have a small quiz game where the two generations, I think Gen Alpha and Gen.
God.
What Gen are you, sir?
Gen forever.
Okay, the two generations. No, sir. Okay, the two generations, OG generation, are going to have a small quiz question, quiz round,
Seriously,
and
this
I am
is
going
meant
to
for
have
a
5 different words. It can be words of this generation, it can be words of the OG generation, but I'm going to say the word, and the first one to ring the bell and tell me what the answer is or use it in a sentence gets a point. So best out of 5. Okay, fine.
Okay, so this is like keep your finger on the buzzer.
Yeah.
Oh, do I win a prize at the end of this?
Sure, sir. Today is Anushka's homework.
Those are
Today's homework of Anushka. If she loses, if she wins, you have to do it for her.
And if I win, she'll take my office work home.
Sure, sir.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, no cheating. The first word is Riz. I think sir rang the bell first.
Is there no
Riz. R-I-Z-Z.
Z is what? Sleeping. So you get up from your sleep.
Not
Riz.
No, not the fast bowler Rizwan Khan. Not him.
No, I heard it. Riz.
Not the bell.
You
Riz.
rise from your sleep. When you wake up early morning, it's called, I send a message, Riz.
So what do you mean?
What you woke up from your sleep.
So Riz means you woke up from your sleep. How would you use it in a sentence?
No, it's just a...
So if you're texting Anushka in the morning, how would you say it?
Hi Anushka, Riz. Good morning.
No? Okay. Anushka, your chance. If you win, you win a point.
Oh God.
So Riz is like a short abbreviation for charisma.
Charisma.
What?
Yeah. So if I have to use it in a sentence, I'll say Roshan sir has mad Riz. Means you have crazy charisma.
Wow. I never knew that. No, I never knew the word. Not
Okay. Okay, so 1-0. 1-0. Anushka is leading.
I'll come back.
Okay, word number 2. Walkman.
I know it. Let me understand what Anushka would.
Do you know what Walkman is?
I guess it's something like a man walkman, a person who walks.
Payback time.
What is a
How would you use it in a
Sentence. Okay, we have to message sir today. How would you use Walkman?
I saw a walkman on the street.
So you saw a Walkman on the street. Okay.
Okay. That means you never heard of this term. It's a gadget where you could walk with music playing in your ears. Now you have these AirPods, you have something which is wireless. Okay. And then we used to have a small attaché around us with a case which used to have a cassette. Okay. Have you seen a cassette? Do you know the spool and reels? And yeah, okay. That used to be put in a gadget which is called a Walkman. And that used to be connected with the headphones which are long strap around your ear. And you could walk on the street, but not the way you are like with your earpods and Bluetooth and all that. So, but that used to be a hip gadget to have. Look, wow, this guy walking on Brigade Road with a Walkman, nice guy. But I like yours, Walkman. So,
Okay, so one all, one each. Okay. The third word, no cap. Anushka.
No cap is like not lying, for real.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, the show is amazing, no cap.
How do
Being
you
very honest. Yeah, the show is amazing, no cap.
no comparison.
No cap means not lying,
I'm
not
not
lying.
lying.
Not lying.
I'm hungry, no cap.
I'm hungry. No cap means I'm hungry, for real. I'm not lying.
Okay. How did these words come about?
Cap? No cap? Yeah.
Okay, 2-1. Anushka was right. The fourth word, groovy. Ah, groovy. Groovy.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Groovy is like hip, chic. Like someone walking. A groovy chick. Look at
Oh my
that.
god.
Anushka, groovy.
So is groovy the Riz of your generation?
I forgot what it is. No cap. Yeah.
So how do you use it in a sentence? Just for the our listeners to know. Okay.
I was walking down Brigade Road and there I saw Anushka just walking up. Oh, she looks so groovy.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because I have Riz, you said. No?
You have the result.
That's why you're groovy too.
Okay, so we are at a tiebreaker round.
Oh my god.
Catch us in our next episode. Thank you. No. So let's settle this. Skibidi. Sir, your chance first. Skibidi.
Someone related to Scooby Dooby?
No, fail. Wrong. Imposition. Anushka.
Skibidi maybe like someone like very bad with very bad charisma.
Nonsensical.
Some very bad at
So you're there, but you're not yet there. But sir was not there anywhere close to it. So we'll close it at a tie. But the word skibidi is nonsensical. These 10 standard boys are just skibidi.
Okay, now I learned something new. In the assembly, will have me say this. Skibidi.
Okay, so that comes an end to our quiz game, which is at a tie. So Anushka, you need to take your homework back home to do it,
Oh,
and
yeah,
sir has to take
you're
his
right.
office back work home.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Didn't happen.
So clearly, two different generations, two different types of mindset, two ways of talking. Probably before we wrap up, I would like to ask both of you, maybe first, sir, what is that one thing that you would probably say to this generation of students to do better on communication?
The only thing I can tell them is to be true to their heart and conscience in their expression. There are a lot of things that are left unsaid, a lot of things that are not spoken, what is meant to. And at the right time, to the right people, if it is not expressed, it will only grow. So, communication in any form, and communication is not necessarily only speaking, which is essential because as you go ahead, communication between two people should be more of communication orally rather than through text. But whatever you do it ethically, do it with a conscience, do it with care and concern for the other people.
And Anushka, what would you have to say something to possibly your parents or teachers about how you would like to be communicated to?
yeah, maybe we really want that caring thing from you, but not always trying to ask me about everything that I do. Maybe it's because sometimes we don't want to share few things because of the fear of judgment, and in some things we seek validation. Maybe that's what we don't get from you, and that's what I like to tell.
So communication again comes down to the key to know when to communicate the right thing. And as sir said, you need to have a soft heart. You need to listen. I think communication starts with listening and not speaking. It's not about speaking. I think it's more about listening. I think that's something we take away today, that Communication probably starts with listening. Every teacher needs to first listen to her class before starting a class. Every student needs to listen to the teacher to understand. Every parent, every child needs to listen to each other. And I think once you listen, it's half done, because your communication gap is much lesser than it was before you started listening. Well, that comes to our end of our chat for today. And I thank you very much. Our guest speaker for today, Mr. Roshan Menezes. Thank you so much. I think you've given us some insight, some advice, and some valuable tips on how to communicate better. Well, Anushka, I hope that whatever you said is what you, your classmates, your generation feels and thinks. And thank you again for your honest opinion. Well, I hope this conversation sparks more conversations in your classrooms, in your homes, anywhere. Just communicate and enjoy your time with each other. Well, if you liked this episode, please share it with your friends, with your parents, with your teachers. Where that is where our communication can get through to all of you. And we look forward to seeing you in my next period. Better do your homework. Your class teacher will be back in the next period. Well, till then, you can follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and always write to us and tell us what you would like to hear about next, or what you would want to know about next in our next chapter or episode. Who knows, tomorrow you might be the subject, you might be our guest lecturer. We are happy to have you. So thank you once again. Thank you so much for this conversation. Let's go out there and communicate.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed being here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you guys like this episode, your homework is going to be that you have to use 3 appropriate words and try to teach them to your parents and teachers and record their reactions. Okay? Bye-bye.